So the WNBA CBA is kind of the main topic of discussion. Why? Because no one has an effing clue what is going on with the WNBA season. No one has a clue what is going on. However, the one kind of player that, if you actually give a damn about the sport of basketball, that when they speak doesn't want to make you jump off the ledge, is Breanna Stewart. Like, Fee, at least one thing I'm glad about is that Fee hasn't really been speaking recently, because Fee has absolutely not that I'm saying she's come off bad, but she has absolutely come off on the side of burn it down side, and that's not productive. That's not productive. And also I mean this when I say this, like, that rant during the finals cannot have been productive, because Kathy and the players basically we're no longer on speaking terms. That is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, it is. But Breanna Stewart here opens up the process taking way longer than needed. And she says here, sorry, it didn't move much money-wise. By the way, it moved a decent chunk. 50K per player is not nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's not. For Stewie, absolutely it's nothing. For most people, it's a decent chunk of money. Like, a 50K is genuinely a decent chunk of money. It says here there were some minimum standard requirements that did come into play. That was important because that means the league heard us on things that matter to us. And in fairness, they got a lot. And I mean a lot of things that should have been there. Like, even as much as the league pass, that should have already been there. Obviously, the league pass situation should have been there. That being said, like, they had to put it in writing. For people being shocked that, that is what, that's what it said. Like, oh, will league pass change it? It's like, no, they have to put all these things in writing. They have to put it all in writing. And unfortunately, having to put it all in writing is, means that you have to put some dumb shit that they didn't already have in writing. That being said here, notably, league's latest proposal offered player concessions on housing and facility standards. First-year players and players on minimum salary will be provided a one-bedroom apartment for the first 3 years, while developmental players will be provided a studio apartment. I personally think owners should be allowed. It shouldn't be a given, but owners should be allowed to house their players. Like, the American sports leagues are the only leagues in the world where if an owner wants to house their players, they're not allowed. Like, it has to be a league-wide thing. If one owner doesn't want to house their players, another does, it basically ends up being, oh yeah, you can't house your players. Whereas in any other sports league in the world, it's just sort that shit out yourselves. We don't need it in writing. Surely your players are somewhere to leave. Sort that out yourselves. And that being said, like, I do feel that, at least in the area, I'm going to be honest. If you are somebody that is a young player, doesn't have a family, a studio apartment is absolutely fine for the 3 months that you're going to be there. That's about it. But hopefully this is a minimum thing that they can offer more, especially if a player does have kids, but I would say that's taken into account. The league agreed to create 2 new developmental player roster spots. A source familiar said those players receive a stipend plus money for each game. We limit a certain number of appearances. I have a weird feeling that players aren't going to sign these developmental contracts because you're getting paid by play. But, like, let's just say hypothetically, for example, Ari McDonald. What if the Sparks decided, okay, we're going to go and cut you. We're going to make you a developmental player. So she's just sitting there doing nothing. She's sitting there doing nothing after being cut by the Sparks. But you have the Fever and probably half the league contacting you and want you to be their starter. Because if a starter goes down, she was one of the best backups. Like, imagine being stuck on a developmental contract because you just happen to be on a team with 3 players. Like, I don't think they'd sign a developmental contract. I think they would sit in free agency. If you can't tear up your developmental contract on the spot, if you're a player, I wouldn't be surprised if the developmental contracts are only signed by second and third round draft pick rookies. But key stakeholders from the PA and WNBA, including owners, met in person, yada yada. Stewie noted, however, the league's response did not address the gap between the sides and revenue sharing. It did raise salary cap to $5.6 million. She said she doesn't know if there's a drop dead date, at which point the league will know when we'll be able to start the season on time. However, she made it clear that everyone knows they're running out of time, needing a deal soon. I think that both sides are very well aware this has gone on way longer than it needed to, but hopefully we can start hearing each other and they hearing us on things that are non-negotiables. I mean this when I say this. If gross revenue sharing is a non-negotiable, I don't think the league exists. But there's a big but here. I think money talks, and there is a salary number that there has to be some form of salary number. Like, they're not going to get, say, 20% of gross revenue, but they might get a salary number that's the equivalent of 20% of gross revenue, if you get me. Like, they might get, let's just say they don't want it to be tied. They still want that 75% net revenue as the bonuses. But, like, let's just say they want the salary cap to be 7 million instead of the 5.65. They could get that. I would be very confident that players could get 7 million. Like, that would make it would make more sense than anything. I would be very, very confident the players could get 7. I don't think the players could get, like, the players can't get 10. We've already seen the players can't get 10. But my guess would be the players could very, very easily get 7 million. And the one thing when it comes to Stewie talking is, like, Stewie is the one person in the PA that has basically just said, I have a weird feeling that when everybody's talking about the, like, you know, the rift in the PA, I don't think it's like it's anything too major. I think it's obviously, even Alicia Clark alluded to the fact that it's true that there are people on both sides. I'd say that Stewie is on the side of, we just need this league. Like, what the fuck are you all doing? On both, like, she's probably on the side of, the league are dumb, the league and the PA. What the fuck are we doing? We're just stalling to be petty. Like, we need to play ball. And I think that's the fact. That is my opinion on the side. I personally believe that both sides are just being petty at this stage. It's become a game of chicken, where I don't know where neither side has been willing to budge anywhere near what the other does. And at this stage, they're going to have to compromise, because I don't think the players want to compromise. I think there are players that 10 toes down, we're not moving, we're not budging, we have unrivaled. I don't think they want to compromise. I think there's a lot of players that don't want to compromise. The owners don't want to give up their money. And at the end of the day, all that's going to lead to is nothing. Absolutely nothing. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. See you guys.